Hi, it's Mark Bossard. I'm here with Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Vancouver's best auto service experience. We're talking cars. Bernie, how you doing?
Doing very well.
So today's guest is a 2022 Volvo XC60 Recharge. What was going on with this vehicle?
So the vehicle came to us for a pre-purchase inspection, and that is what we did on the vehicle. So we can talk about what we found and a bit
So,
about the car.
so a pre-purchase, what the heck is a pre-purchase inspection?
So someone who was buying this vehicle, this was for sale at a dealership. They wanted an independent opinion on what the condition was of the vehicle. We do quite a few of these. It's very smart if you're buying any car. This vehicle at 24,000 kilometers, it's 4 years old, so very low mileage, very little usage. Could you have safely bought the car without an inspection? Maybe, but you never know what might be hiding or lurking under the hood. So it's always good to do an inspection on a vehicle, no matter what the mileage is. Even if you get a car for $500, unless you're willing to spend thousands on it, it's good to get a pre-purchase inspection.
So I'm just wondering, this is a hybrid vehicle indicated by the Recharge. Is that even more important? Because that's a lot more complication.
Absolutely. It's definitely important to have things looked at. There are the tests we can do in the hybrid battery and that kind of system, and that can get really expensive and complicated. So for the vehicle with the mileage on this vehicle, a basic computer system scan is really enough to tell us what's going on. Road tests, charging the vehicle, etc. That tells enough.
Let's have a look at our gas here.
There we go. Nice looking car. It's an R model too, so it's sporty.
R for a recharge or race?
I think it's more of a race thing, like Volvo, the R model is fancier. I don't know what it actually represents.
Or reverse.
Reverse, yeah, something.
So
So
there, engine compartment.
yeah, rather conventional, other than, of course, you see the orange connector on the right-hand side, and that's the inverter. So those are some of the unique parts of the hybrid system. But on the left side, under that black thing that says Volvo, is basically a regular internal combustion engine.
What size of engine?
It's a 2-liter turbocharged engine, so it's got lots of pep and power.
And this is a key part of this vehicle.
Yeah,
All-wheel drive, recharge, T8. Do you know what that means?
it's a designation for the vehicle. There's T6s, T8s, different model numbers. The higher the number I've kind of figured out is the better of the car, but I might not be an expert on that. We do a lot of Volvos and I've never actually looked to go, what did they exactly mean? But it seems like that's a better model than others.
And what are we looking at here?
So here we're looking at the rear differentials. So this is entirely an electric motor on this, which makes a whole lot of sense. You don't have the drive shaft connecting from the transmission and all the extra complication. It's just the rear wheel part of the all-wheel drive is electric. So this vehicle must always function in electric mode because otherwise the rear motor won't run. So it won't push and propel the vehicle.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, it is. So I got into the vehicle after it was dropped off and I noticed this interesting warning on here. Aged fuel, start engine to consume fuel. So what this means basically is that the engine has not been run for a while or the fuel is old. The computer, I guess, is determining the engine hasn't run for a while. The fuel is aging in the tank and you should run it because gasoline does deteriorate over time. And so it's important that gas is relatively fresh. Well, a car like this, you could theoretically plug it in and never run it on a gas engine. You could drive you maybe 10 kilometers to work, come home, back and forth, and never run the engine. And then all of a sudden, one day you go on a trip and the internal combustion engine starts up and the gas is rotten. And that can create a lot of problems. So you must burn your fuel off once in a while. Here's a view of the inspection report. Again, you can see the mileage on the left, 141 kilometers. So very young vehicle. I think in miles, it's probably about 16,000 miles. Found really nothing wrong with this vehicle as we'd expected. These orange items are part of our inspection. We have red items, orange items, and then the green ones, which below it says 97 items are okay. For these orange items, none are major. I mean, the vehicle's almost due for a maintenance service, but not quite. We did a scan of the vehicle computer, so that's just information. Brake fluid flush might be due. We make a note there, check vehicle history. So car is 4 years old. If it's never been done, it'd be good to do. We found some damage to the tires. The treads were still in good shape, but if we look further in the next picture, we can see this is what we include in our inspection, sort of a little drill down. So if you see observation, tread depth 5 millimeters, that's still fine for a while. There's a screw in the center of the front left tire. I don't know that it's penetrated anything during inspection. We don't like to pull that out because if it has a leak, then all of a sudden we need to do a tire repair, and it's not here for that. So we left it and actually checked the tire pressures, and none of them were low. So that would indicate to me it's probably not penetrated into the casing of the tire. And then we have a gouged out tire. This is actually really the worst part of the vehicle. We found a little gouge on the sidewall of the tire and some curb rashing, more for customer information since there's no safety issue with that. But had he or she not noticed it, the buyer of the vehicle, that there's a note there for them.
So with something like that, does the tire need to be replaced right away?
I think it's okay. It is a fair chunk of rubber, but that area of the tire is probably the very thickest. And it's actually there to protect the rim and the tire a little bit because people do scrape on curbs. But that one is a pretty fair chunk of tread. So my own car, I'd be a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say it's okay.
And what do we have? This is a big computer system scan of the electrical system.
It is, yeah. So this is a complete vehicle system scan through with one of the scan tools that we have. And so we can actually include the report in the vehicle inspection for the client to look at. Of course, this is very small, but it looks at the engine. All the computer modules in the vehicle are included in this report. There was a couple of codes stored, faults in a couple of modules that are really have no relevance to anything on the vehicle, any problems. There were probably like a momentary glitch of some sort in a power window or something, or in the radio, and I can't remember all the codes. But the key thing is the engine, battery system, transmission, all of those things had no faults. And the other thing is good to find codes because, the dealership could have actually hooked up a good scanner, cleared everything out of the system, and then we'd have no idea. There could be a fault that's being hidden. So it's actually good to find a couple of faults as opposed to nothing at all.
As long as they're not expensive.
Yeah, exactly. But generally, and this is very true of most European cars, they'll set fault codes for a variety of things that aren't really important or relevant. If you own a Mercedes, you drive it for a year, you scan it, there's probably like 30 faults of all sorts of little things. And sometimes the battery will just be a little low on voltage and every module gets a fault code. It's just a matter of discerning what's important to fix and what's not.
And I just wanted to point out there's a little door here.
It's the electron fuel door. That's the plug-in door. Yeah, this vehicle will have two doors. That's for the electric recharge.
So this is plug-in recharge. You plug it in at home at night and you're ready to go the next day and you're running on cheap electrons rather than expensive dinosaur bones.
Exactly. Correct. Yeah. And if you need to go long ways, then you have the dinosaur fuel.
So what was the end result? The customer was happy with the report?
Yeah.
Buy the vehicle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great vehicle. It's definitely worth buying. And so that thing about a pre-purchase inspection, it gives you peace of mind. You either know you're buying a great vehicle or hey, it needs this, this, and this. I might be able to renegotiate a better price. Or, you go, hey, I'm staying away from this thing because it's got way too many problems.
Yeah. If you're looking for a pre-purchase inspection, you're looking for a used vehicle in Vancouver, the people to see are at Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them online at pawlikautomotive.com. You can book your appointment right there, or you can call them at 604-327-7112. You have to book ahead. They're always busy. Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for watching and listening. We appreciate it.